Hey guys, Jules here for WhatCulture.com, and I want to talk to you today about failure. It is something that we will all experience at some point in our lives, be it with friends, with work, relationships, what you'd call the Adam Cleary cocktail. But I need to tell you that it is not the end. You can bounce back and rise from the ashes like a glorious phoenix and set the world on fire in your wake. I mean, just ask these guys on this list who went from the WWE onto better things. With this in mind, I'm Jules for WhatCulture.com, and these are 8 WWE flops that went on to bigger things. Number 8, Kurgan. At 7 foot tall and with a look that screams "I eat babies for fun," you'd think that Kurgan would have gone on to great things in the late 90s period of the WWF, especially seeing as he was accompanied by the actually quite charismatic Jackal, but things didn't go so well. Mainly because, in truth, he was just a bit shit in the ring. There didn't seem to be a pro wrestling future on the indie scene for Kurgan once he left the WWF, and truthfully, there just wasn't. But he never really needed one. He dropped the ring name and soon
Robert Maye
became a star in Hollywood, where terrible acting has never really been a barrier to entry. To date, he starred in films like Sherlock Holmes, Pacific Rim, Deadpool 2, Immortals, and Monster Brawl, and his breakout role was a hulking chained beast in 2006's 300, which laid the path for the man-monster for years to come. Number 7, Trent Barreta. Trent Barreta, and this might sound really harsh, was utter dirge in NXT. He was actually demoted there in 2012 and finally left the company in 2013. It's not because of his skills in the slightest, but because of how the WWE tried to control and package him at every turn. His entire run was forgettable, and he even had the misfortune of being lumbered with the whole Dude Busters stable. Ugh. Grim. However, his exit from the WWE was the best thing for him. Not only did Barreta move on to independent circuit fame with the likes of PWG, Dragon Gate USA, and Ring of Honor, he's also torn up the New Japan circuit, which is a move that many wrestlers now see as an attractive alternative to the WWE stranglehold. Number 6, CJ Parker. Few could have predicted that hippie, drippy CJ Parker would do anything of note after he left the WWE, but he did. Repackaging himself as Juice Robertson, he went on to win the IWGP United States Championship 3 years later. And he is now somebody the WWE are very keen to get back. Parker, a solid mic man during his run in NXT, clearly always had the skills to be more, but he wasn't going to get anywhere playing the one-note free spirit gimmick that WWE had in mind for him. Juice has gone on to much bigger things outside of WWE. His New Japan run has been peppered with promising moments, like a massive boost win over Kenny Omega last August in the G1 Climax tournament. And now he's IWGP US champion. It's not like he needs to go back to the WWE, is it? So you know what, Vince? Suck on them bongos. Number 5, Colt Cabana. When the WWE picked up Colt in 2007, they lifted him up in their hands, looked at all of the golden indie praise that he had pouring all over him, and just thought, nah, let's scrub that off and repackage him as Scotty Goldman. This gimmick was absolute ass and failed to allow Colt to express his natural zest for comedy, and basically turned him into everything that his Ring of Honor run wasn't. After being let go from the company in 2009, Colt launched his Art of Wrestling podcast in 2011, returned to the indie scene, and didn't miss a beat. The man is visibly happier working for himself, and he's even been able to get stuck into the world of stand-up comedy, so the joke is definitely on the WWE. Number 4, Cody Rhodes. The tale of Cody Rhodes is one that could have been so different if it weren't for one terrible choice by the WWE creative team to make him into a horrible imitation of his brother, Goldust. The entire idea of Stardust was just so out there and so utterly arse that it looked like your mother's prostate after the locker room has had a run on her. There's my one per list. You could see when he had to do this role that he had clearly checked out, and check out he did quite literally, which proved to be the best thing for him. After leaving the company, he's climbed the ladder to become the leader of the Bullet Club, a dastardly heel, a brilliant event planner, and thankfully he's wiped off all that makeup so that we can see his beautiful face. What a lad, am I right? And he's finally become the star that Stardust never could be. Number 3, Shane Douglas. Shane Douglas, in many respects, was ECW. His kickstart of the promotion back in 1994 with him disrespecting the NWA Heavyweight Championship skyrocketed him and the promotion into the mainstream. Before this point, however, when he was with the WWF, he was barely an enhancement talent, with his most notable achievement being a 26-minute run in the 1991 Royal Rumble, something that I'd argue that he only achieved because people simply forgot that he was there. However, for reasons entirely his own, he decided that the up-and-coming promotion, which was gaining massive heat, both good and bad, wasn't for him, so he jumped jumped back to the WWF under an awful Dean Douglas gimmick. This seemed like a very strange choice to many, but it was something that he soon realized, and he went back to ECW to carry on kicking ass as the franchise. The obvious pun here being that he needed to go to the WWF to get an education on why he left there in the first place. You're welcome. Number 2, DDP. DDP was what you'd call a late bloomer, but by the end of his run with WCW, he was in the title picture a fair amount, and he had notable feuds with big wrestlers up and down the card. Then he made the move to the WWF, and well, it wasn't exactly a graceful move. Yes, his jump was not so sweet-smelling, as he appeared as a stalker to The Undertaker's wife, and he was beaten senseless week in and week out. Then he transitioned to a motivational speaker with a creepy smile, which was a lot better by comparison than a potential rapist, but it wasn't the same fire that he captured before. Then it happened. He stopped wrestling and started doing yoga. Yoga that he originally termed as yoga for ordinary guys. Then that became DDP yoga, and that became an absolute goddamn goldmine. Through his teachings, his mindfulness courses, and his one-to-one mentorships, he's helped people the world over, thousands of people, including those in the locker room to this very day. Top lad. And number 1, Kenny Omega. What a difference a decade makes. In 2005, Kenny Omega was in the Deep South wrestling territory owned by the WWE, which is kind of like a developmental area. And he didn't stand out in the slightest. He looked like an electric blue poodle. He just didn't scream WWE superstar, and it was clear that he still had to find himself. And find himself he did, by having everything he knew stiff chopped out of him in Ring of Honor, PWG, DDT, and obviously New Japan. There he worked his way up the ladder and is now not only considered to be one of the best wrestlers in New Japan, but also possibly in the entire world. The WWE just didn't know what to do with him, and to be honest, neither did he. It's not really a failing of Vince's promotion so much as it just wasn't the catalyst for Kenny Omega to clean up all around the world. At the time of this video, he is on top of his mountain, and it's clear that he's got no signs of slowing down. And there we go, those were 8 WWE flops that went on to bigger things. Let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below, but before you go, maybe you'd like to check out something I've done on the Gaming channel, or something I've done over on That Film Theory, the little sister channel that we've got that's growing day by day and could use a little bit of love. As always, I've been Jules, you've been awesome, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye!